Hey there, welcome to this live with Asha Frost. I'm Sheila Botelho and I'm welcoming Asha Frost on. I'm actually just about to add her here. She is today's podcast interview guest, and she's come on to talk a little bit more today about what's happening in her world and in her work that you can benefit from. So here we go. I'm going to admit her now. I think I sent her a request. One sec here. Let me just add her. Okay, I guess that's what I was supposed to do. It's different for everyone that I have on. Oh, here she is. How are you?
Play me and all the things. I'm good. How are you? It's just so
I'm great. I know, isn't it gorgeous out? The
is.
sun is just everywhere. Oh, we will take it. We can take all the sunshine that we can get today.
Yes.
So how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. The sunshine makes everything better.
It's very true. Sunshine and water. And I see you're wearing the beautiful colors that I love so much that you always, it represents you is the watercolors. I'm wearing blue. This is like a very dark blue, but it's, you know, I thought I'm going to put something blue on for Asha today.
Amazing. We match. I love it.
Yeah. So I'm so glad you could be here today. And I'm excited that your podcast episode released today and a bunch of people excited to listen to it because I've been talking about you and sharing you with my world. And it's so nice that the greater audience can now hear a little bit more about you and what you're up to and where you've come from. And I feel like right now your voice and what you're sharing is so needed because it's so healing. It's our nervous systems need a break. And this morning when I woke up, I looked at two things, and one of them was your Instagram feed because I knew that I would be receiving encouragement in a very gentle way and an empowering way at the same time. So there was no news feeds have been on in this house yet. I figure, you know, whatever happens, happens.
Right. Oh, thank you. That's so kind.
And so also what I'm really excited about, and I have linked this in the podcast show notes, are your upcoming seven grandfather teachings. That's what it's called, that you have coming in the middle, actually near the end, 23rd of November. Is that right? Yeah. So I'd love for you to share some more about that with us because we didn't talk about that much. I don't think we talked about that at all on the podcast, but I would love to hear what that's about. And even if you could give us a sneak peek that you feel might be appropriate for people watching today.
Sure. So the seven grandfather teachings are Indigenous teachings. And they are, you know, I'm an Anishinaabe, so it speaks to my culture and my heritage, my ancestry. And there are these seven beautiful teachings that have always informed the way that I walk in the world. And it's been calling to me for years. How am I going to share these? You know, I wanted to share them and do a course on them for many years. But the time 2020 happened and I was like, whoa, now is the time to share these teachings. And for me, it's not about just information, right? I think we've been flooded and overwhelmed with information in the world. And I feel like the walking out, you know, the integration, the death, destruction, rest, like all of the parts of the cycle are so important. And because we've taken in so much and we kind of feel like we're loaded up, this is really going to be experiential. It's going to be how to walk it in the world, how to feel it in our hearts, how to emanate it from our energies, and really that integration piece that's so vital right now. And we're doing it in community. And I think that that collective piece of everyone doing this together makes it uber powerful. So it really is going to be, you know, it's a 7-day video series where you're receiving a ceremony and ritual that everybody's going to be doing together. But then I'm going to be popping in live in Facebook where it's just some extra treats and extra magic and medicine in that way, because we need it more than ever. And we need to reclaim, like it's called reclaim actually. So it's reclaim your joy and your peace, but it's also reclaim your medicine, your wisdom, your ancestry, your rootedness, like all of the things that are up for reclamation right now. And I think it's kind of everything, right? To just get grounded again. You know, it's not always the sexiest thing to be like, let's get grounded or let's get rooted, but truly it's what's needed. So
I think people are down with getting grounded right now. I think people have been wigging out all year, maybe the last 4 years, who knows? Yeah, it's something about grounding. When I just hear that word, it just settles me. It settles me. Roots, grounding, nourishing. And we're in that season where I think we're wrapping things up. Our whole environment around us is wrapping up before winter. And I think grounding is something that is so seasonal also.
yes, yes. So yeah, so I'm so excited about this, and there's already some folks joining that are just, you know, I always ask, like, what lands are you from, and where are your ancestors from? Because we're going to bringing in your power, your presence, you know, all of that. That's so important because we're creating this together. It's a co-creation. But then I'm going to be teaching lots too. So lots of medicine teachings that are going to flow through the offering, and a preview. You know, I think the one thing that I would bring forward, because what's coming forward now are your roots. So really just like envisioning that even today as you're sitting there and feeling the essence and energy of your roots, like however those show up for you, whether it's coming right out of like where you're sitting or your feet, and like just seeing those roots extending down and calling forward all of the wisdom of your ancestors. I did that post today on Instagram of like, you know, some of the medicines my ancestors had. So how can we call forward that rootedness and just like bring forward the wisdom of those that came before us that flow through our blood and our bones and our sacred waters, because it's there. So I really would love for you to activate that today on this very powerful day. Your ancestors have been resilient. They've done this before, right? They're strong. So you have that too.
I love that so much. I love how you always invite us to tap into our own medicine, our own ancestry, because everybody has come from somewhere. And when we seek to make that connection, we really find home. And for my background, it would be probably Celtic, you know, Druid. I'm like, you know, the British Isles, Ireland, Scotland, France, all the whole 9 yards. And I do imagine, you know, when I think about my ancestry, I imagine being connected to the earth. And I think, hey, that's how we all started. That's how every origin story of a people group has begun, connected to the earth, because that's what we needed to survive. And we've become so disconnected, relying on, God bless this technology we're using right now, but relying on screens and things that are just, you know, wonderful man-made creations, but they're detached from the earth. So, oh, that grounding practice is so nourishing. Thank you for that. And I hope that whoever's listening, regardless of what you're going through right now, know that you always have the ability to tap into your roots, tap into just where you are right in this present moment too, right? Talk to me about presence and about how you're able to stay present when you're holding space for so many people and your beautiful boys and your wonderful husband and family, your mom. I love seeing pictures of your mom. She is just such a sweet, sweet looking lady.
Yes, yes. Oh goodness. I think that it's been a challenge this year. I'll be honest. I think that it's been like, I think that if anything, I've been tested in that way more than ever, and how to hold space for all of it. Especially with like when my children were home and I was trying to run my business full time, and I don't know if I did a really great job, to be honest. So for me right now, it's really about nervous system work, like really being present with my nervous system, and you know, doing the work that I need to do to stay rooted, which is so important. Breath, even like, it's just so simple. It's like simple practices of like getting outside and walking. Sometimes I lie on the earth and just like lie there to feel like the earth mother's heart nourishing me, you know, taking salt baths, doing those things because my children are young, trying to really like making sure I take those little moments out to make sure I can come back to myself. Because when I'm spread too thin or I'm leaking my energy on all these places, then I don't feel whole at all. So I will say that this year probably has been the hardest, and I've also learned the most, and I've deepened into presence more than ever from the challenges that happened in 2020.
That's amazing. It's amazing how chaos will do that, right? It's what is it? Chaos is the mother of invention? No. I don't know. It's some cool quote like that somebody said, and it's so true. You you need to make change when it's presented before you that there's no other option. And when life is good, we push that stuff to the side and we just kind of mosey on, but then life hits us. So having those practices available to us and ready at a moment's notice are so helpful. So what would you say, what is a day in the life of Asha Frost like right now, now that the kids are back in school? What does a day look like for you with your healing practices, your ancestral connection, family time, all of that?
Yeah, well, it's very busy in the morning. It's very busy in the morning, getting the boys ready and up and out. And then I really need to have like a walk in the day. So I usually walk in the morning. That's just my time for me. And I'll do a smudge, I'll do a sacred smudge or a cleanse of some sort to set my day intention. Right now, things are really busy. Right now, I have a lot of interviews, a lot of appointments, a lot of like master classes and podcasts and all that kind of stuff. So it's quite full right now. So I'll be very honest in that I am trying to make room and trying to say no. So right now, the life of Asha Frost is setting boundaries and saying no to things so that I can write my book because I'm dreaming big things into being and I need some space to dream those dreams into being. So I'm really focusing on making space to for myself and for my own healing too, because I can tend to go and like give a lot to everyone. And so, I don't know why it keeps pausing. So
Yeah, you're still here.
yeah,
You're
so
still
anyway,
here.
that's what happened. That's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. I was just like assessing my capacity for all the things that need to get done, and being really mindful, because I've got the family is really important. Being a mom is really important, and then I'm holding space for a membership and some mentorship clients, and just there's a lot of holding space right now. So it's busy. It's a busy day.
Yeah, well, thank you for making space to be here. I don't want to keep you too much longer. I do, though, want to ask you about how's the book coming and when is your best writing time?
Yes, I haven't started. I need to write. I need to start. Like that's part of, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to talk about this, because I need to get started and I need to make space for it. So I don't have best writing time right now because my schedule is full. So I need to make space. So I'm hoping in December I will have space to write. And I'm thinking I'm not an early riser. I can't wake up at 4 a.m. I wish I could say that I did that, but I don't. And nighttime's really hard too. I have a 3-year-old. He's busy. And I'm
Oh,
exhausted.
yeah.
So, he still wakes up in the night, so that's just not doable. So I'm going to hopefully start at 10 a.m. in December every morning, and just make space in my calendar and say I'm writing all month. So that's what I'm doing.
I think that's amazing. And here's the thing, though, your book doesn't come out till 2022.
Right, but it's due soon, right?
It's just, yeah. But, so you're were you one of those people who used to cram before the exams?
No, not at all. Actually, I'm not a procrastinator at all. I just really have realized how much space I fill with things and how many times I say yes to things. So it's just a really huge lesson right now. That I've got this book deadline, and it's like I need to be really, really particular and discerning with my time and my space and my capacity. I've just never had, I've always had work and kids and my own health, and now it's just an additional like creation that needs to happen that I need to sort of make space for, because it's just something that I haven't had to do before.
Well, Asha, really, it's not that you haven't started the book. The book is in here.
Yes.
And so it just needs to make its way out onto the written page.
Yeah.
And I think based on everything you share and just in a conversation, nonetheless, also including your social media posts and other things that you do, you have the message and it's coming out loud and clear. So I will be holding space for you in December, and as you're writing, and I'm very excited for you. I think it's a great time to be writing a book too, just as
Yeah.
everything's getting quieter. I mean, typically, especially end of December, things slow down for a lot of businesses and things, and people want to cocoon more. So you'll probably find some wonderful flow as you start to write at that time.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so exciting. Are you part of a writing group? Like, do you have like, I know that would just be one more thing, right? But like a writing buddy, accountability partner, or something like that?
No, I'm
No.
just gonna find space to write and just start
Yeah, I
writing.
think that's really what it is because everybody has a different way of going about it, right? Some people
Yeah.
need that like accountability, but ultimately, when it's on the calendar, it happens. And again, like I
Yeah.
said, it's inside
Yeah.
of you.
I mean, it's not like I haven't started. I have the proposals fully done. The plan is there. I just need to find space to sit down and, and write it out. So it'll happen.
It'll happen.
And I'm
Oh,
not a crammer. I'm not a crammer at all. So I do not want to be rushing at the last moment. So yeah, that's why I just.
no. Of course not. And I find too, like even with the podcast, it's like one more thing, another kind of production. It took a little bit of time for me to get it to the point where it didn't take that long, but to get it to the point where it was just part of the routine and you figure out how it works. And then you realize, oh, it's actually easy to integrate it, but it's like getting your mind there. Because when your mind is used to doing something different, and also your youngest is 3, and then your oldest is
8.
8. Okay. So yeah, oh, that's such a great age. Oh my gosh. Like the independence is coming so strong. And yet you get to be present with them. And I'm so glad that of course you prioritize that time because it is such a precious time and they change so quickly. So it's amazing you get to be with them when they're not at school. You're able to be there, be present, and be working from home. One quick question about homeschooling. How did you find it in terms of their ability to really learn from you in a more like academic way?
Well, my 3-year-old didn't do that. So
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
he ran around like a toddler. He was 2. He was 2 and a little bit, and he ran around and he just ran around and threw things. It was wild. And I don't think I'm the best teacher in those ways academically. That's just not what my gifts are for my 8-year-old. I just don't think I'm the best teacher. I mean, we did drum songs, we did smudging, I can teach animal spirits, we do healing work, and I love teaching those things. But school, I'm glad that he has his teachers that seem to be well suited for him.
Oh yeah. And like the whole process of learning, it's so individualized anyway. Everybody learns differently. And so your kids, whatever you're upholding for them, what you're teaching them through your gifts is helping them learn in such a magnetic way when they're at school. And everything also, like I had people saying to me, I've home educated my kids like for years, but really they've been very self-directed though too. Like I've kind of put it before them and just given them the space to figure it out and then kind of dipped in where they've needed assistance. But, ultimately they're going to grasp what they're going to grasp. And the best way for them to grasp anything is to do it in a loving container. And that is something, my friend, you do very, very well because that's who you are. So when they feel safe, they learn best anyway. And I'm sure they probably like some people were afraid their kids were going to fall behind or something like that, being not in school for those periods of time. But no, there's just kids are sponges. They pick stuff up, they move on, and they learn what they need to learn. Right? Just like all of us went through school, we learned what we needed to learn. We weren't perfect at everything. That just doesn't exist. So I love what you're teaching though, because that is what our world needs so much more of, is that rooted connection to really not only tap into what has birthed us, but how for us to treat each other so much more gently and with kindness and acceptance for who each person is. And that's something that you reflect beautifully into the world. So
thank you. Yeah, I hope yeah, that's what they feel.
Yeah. Oh, I imagine they do. They look like happy boys. It'd be really nice to meet them live in person one day when there is time and when I'm able to make my way to you. Because it's so nice to know that you're not far.
Yeah,
we both live not too far from each other. It's so interesting. We had to join something that was far away in order to get to know each other, and that we don't live that far away from each other. But
I know, I love it.
Oh, wonderful. So where can people go to sign up for Reclaim and to take part in this, and what's involved for them? You said it was it's for 1 or 2 weeks.
1 week.
One
It's
week.
7 days. Yep. They can go to ashafrost.com/reclaim. And then you'll get the directions on how to join the Facebook group, but you don't have to be on Facebook to receive all the goodies. So don't worry about that if you're not on Facebook. And then November 23rd, you'll get your first email and ceremony. And then we're ending with the full spirit moon. So we're doing a ceremony at the end to honor the full moon. And again, I just think the power of that collective energy gathering together, us all walking this together, is going to create change and is going to create healing, because it starts from here, right? It starts within. And if we're all intending that and doing the work, then I think we can dream a healed world into being.
Yes, amen to that. Let's say, so be it. And I'm so grateful that you are here today. And I'm grateful for all of the work that you're doing. Thank you for sharing it with us. And I look forward to connecting with you again soon.
Thank you so much, Sheila. Take care.
Have a great one.